Good, solid grounding on father-child rough-and-tumble play research. Fletcher, St. George, and Freeman meta-analyses. Links to emotional regulation and self-regulation. I'll build the script around that. You buy him the building blocks that promise to boost spatial reasoning. You read the articles ranking the best educational toys for dads to buy. You hear that presence is what matters, so you sit close by, quiet, careful, calm, the way every parenting book tells you to be. And somewhere in trying to get it right, dads end up doing the one thing that actually works against them, playing it too safe. Here's the part almost nobody tells new fathers. There's a very specific kind of play, physical, a little wild, a little unpredictable, that researchers studying father-child interaction have found does something for a baby's brain that gentle, careful play simply doesn't reach. It's not about being the fun parent. It's not about roughhousing for its own sake. Scientists have a name for it, and once you understand what it's actually building inside a baby's developing brain, you'll never look at a game of airplane or a bouncing knee the same way again. I'll tell you exactly what that is, and why almost nothing else, no toy, no class, no amount of gentle cradling, can replace it. It's called rough and tumble play, and despite the name, it's not about roughness for its own sake. It's controlled, physical, unpredictable play. Lifting a baby high and swooping her back down, play wrestling on the carpet, chasing, tickling, tossing, catching. The kind of play that makes a baby shriek with laughter one second and brace herself the next, not knowing exactly what's coming. That unpredictability is the whole point. It teaches a baby's brain to handle small bursts of excitement and uncertainty, and then come back down to calm again and again. Picture a father lying on the living room floor, his baby son propped on his shins, holding both tiny hands. He lifts his legs slowly, and the baby's whole body rises into the air, wobbling, arms out for balance. For a second, the baby's face goes still, uncertain. Then his father drops his knees just slightly, catches him, grins, and says, "Whoa, almost lost you." The baby shrieks, delighted, and immediately pushes his hands forward, asking without words for it to happen again. His father lifts him a second time, a little higher now that he knows his son can handle it. The baby laughs harder. His whole body is tense with anticipation, then loose with relief, then tense again. That rhythm, tension, uncertainty, release, tension again, isn't random. It's the baby's practicing something enormous, how to feel a rush of intensity and trust that he'll land somewhere safe. He's not just being entertained, he's building the early wiring for handling excitement, managing surprise, and recovering from it, all inside a game that looks, to anyone watching, like nothing more than a father playing with his son. The quiet truth is this: a calm, careful lap teaches a baby that the world is safe. A wobbly, thrilling toss into a father's steady arms teaches a baby that even when the world gets unpredictable, he can handle it. Researchers who study father-child interaction, among them Richard Fletcher at the University of Newcastle in Australia, have spent years documenting this exact pattern of play and what it does over time. Their work, along with a wider body of research reviewed by psychologists St. George and Freeman, have found that this kind of physical, rough-and-tumble play between fathers and young children is consistently linked to stronger emotional regulation and self-control later on. Children who got more of this kind of play from their fathers tended to be better at managing big feelings, calming themselves down, and handling frustration without falling apart. It's not about toughness, it's about practice. Practice at riding out a wave of intensity and coming back to steady ground with someone they trust holding the other end of it. There's a moment researchers often point to that captures why this matters so much. Picture a father tossing his toddler gently into the air again and again on a Saturday morning. Each time, right before the peak, there's a flicker of uncertainty on the child's face, the same look you'd see right before a roller coaster drop. And each time, his father catches her, solid and sure, and she dissolves into laughter. After a dozen rounds, something shifts. She starts initiating it herself, holding her arms up, saying again, again, almost begging for that flicker of uncertainty, because she's learned something important underneath the fun. The drop is always followed by the catch. That's not a trivial lesson for a developing nervous system. It's one of the earliest templates a child gets for facing something uncertain and trusting it will resolve safely, a template she'll draw on for the rest of her life in situations that have nothing to do with being lifted into the air. None of this means quiet, gentle care doesn't matter, or that mothers or any calm caregiver can't offer this too. It's not about which parent is better or about checking some box marked masculine enough. It's about making sure a baby gets both kinds of experience, the steady, soothing kind and the exciting, unpredictable, safely contained kind, because a developing brain needs practice at both calm and challenge. And you don't need special training or a particular personality to offer it. You just need a little floor space, a few free minutes, and the willingness to be a little sillier than feels natural. Here are 3 simple ways to bring this into your days together. First, add a small element of surprise into ordinary physical play. Instead of a predictable tickle, pause for a beat and say, "Ready, ready, not yet," before you finally tickle. That tiny delay is what builds the anticipation that makes the game meaningful. Second, let your baby set the pace for how big the play gets. Start small, a gentle bounce, a short lift, and watch her face. If she leans in, laughs, reaches for more, go a little bigger next time. If she looks unsure or turns away, that's your cue to dial it back. You're not just playing, you're teaching her that her signals control what happens next. Third, always close the loop with connection. After the big swoop, the fast chase, the tumble onto the couch cushions, pull her in close for a few seconds, a hug, a quiet gotcha, a moment of stillness. That's the part that teaches her the excitement always ends in safety, not just in you moving on to the next thing. Now compare that to the toys built to look educational, the ones that talk, that light up, that promise cognitive development in the box copy. They can't do this. A toy can't read your baby's face and know exactly how far to push the excitement. It can't pause right before the moment of uncertainty and then land the catch over and over until trust is built into the pattern. Only you, watching her in real time, adjusting as you go, can build that specific kind of confidence, the kind that comes from riding out something a little unpredictable and discovering again and again that you're there on the other side of it. And this goes far beyond one game on the living room floor. Every time you toss her a little higher, chase her a little longer, or catch her right when she needs catching, you're not just making her laugh. You're teaching her nervous system what it feels like to face something big and come out okay. A lesson she'll lean on in playgrounds, in friendships, in every uncertain moment life hands her later on. If you've ever felt like you weren't sure what your role was supposed to be in all this, like the quiet, careful stuff belonged to someone else and you didn't quite know where you fit in, you already fit exactly where you need to be. This kind of play isn't a smaller version of parenting. It's a piece nothing else can replace. If this changed how you think about playtime with your baby, share it with another dad who might need to hear it. The one scrolling for advice at midnight, wondering if the wrestling and the tossing and the noise actually mean anything. Because in the end, your baby was never waiting for the toy that promised to build her brain. She was only ever waiting for you to catch her.